Cancer. This is your April 2023 soul story. If you have a sun rising or your moon is in the sign, then this is your reading. It's Romy here. Thank you so much for supporting my work, tuning into the channel. Let's take a look and see what's coming through for this cosmic conversation. We are opening up with the energy of temperance for you. It's all about the timing this month, and you need to move into April with an open heart, an open mind, and the ability to be able to prepare for all outcomes, really. Finding that middle road, if you like, so that you can maintain your balance, your harmony, protect your peace. In fact, I see you incredibly protective this month, Cancer, over what and who matters to you. Now we're going to move into the beginning of the month with a square between Mercury and Pluto, making it a little bit challenging for some conversations early in the month. That leads us up to a full moon at 16 degrees of Libra, coming in your fourth house. It's very close to home in terms of what is unfolding with regards relationships around that time. It may feel a little bit more challenging to try to maintain your sense of equilibrium at that time. And you may even have to have a little bit more of an indirect approach in order to get somebody on board with your way of thinking or the vision that you have in terms of what's playing out. But rest assured, as we come out of that full moon energy and work towards the 7th, there's a really beautiful conversation between Venus and Neptune taking place, and it feels like it will soothe any ruffled feathers. So the overall theme of this month is very intense, it's very dynamic, it's very changeable with the eclipse energy coming in, and yet there's also these moments of respite where we do get to soothe our soul, where we do find a workaround, a solution, a reconciliation, a kind of an ability to heal something that might have been fractured or felt incredibly disruptive. So the big news, of course, Mars now into your sign. And what it's saying really is that you can only take action if it truly moves your heart. Now, the King of Swords often wants to almost disconnect from that emotional feeling because it gets in the way of the details and the specific focus that's required. And there's a level of diligence, I think. And it's interesting because this month, even though there are these huge big storylines playing out because of the eclipse energy, you're actually being invited, and I think temperance is supporting that, Cancer, to slow it down enough so that you do notice the details and you don't get so caught up or wrapped up in things that you miss things that are right in front of you that you want to take care of, that you want to deal with. I see you being incredibly discerning, and rightly so, because the stakes feel high in many regards to some of the choices and decisions that are coming through. Now, of course, when we're in eclipse energy, often the changes that happen are kind of non-negotiable, and we are ending up being somewhat reactive to what can feel like very unexpected shifts and changes, beginnings, endings, disruption to our pathway. And even when we don't know, even when we feel a level of uncertainty, that's when we really start to pay attention. And for me, that King of Swords is saying, Cancer, April, pay attention. When you start to listen, then you're going to notice things that perhaps you would have overlooked or would have got lost in the more combustible energy that April's delivering. And then you would have looked back and think, gosh, like I wish I'd taken care of that or I'd been able to deal with that. Now, in a supportive way, which is positive, we do have Mercury retrograde at the end of the month, and that will give that slowdown energy that will help you go back over and review something. Okay, so keep that in mind. There's always an upside to these transits, even where we also find them a little chaotic. Certainly there's this sense of things feeling a little bit haywire through the month of April, but again, that doesn't have to be problematic if you are able to maintain that sense of balance for yourself, and you know what it takes in order for you to be able to do that. Now, what we have coming through with the Two of Swords is the requirement to make an important decision. You do feel like you're burying your head in the sand a little bit. You know, your eyes are covered over here. Deep in conversation, I feel quite intense. Again, that full moon in Libra highlighting relationships. And again, you know, the bird house here signifying that perhaps this is, for some of you, pertaining directly to discussions and negotiations around where you're living, where you're working, environments and spaces that you're spending time in. Perhaps these bigger decisions or discussions of significance that are playing out, are really all centered around this. Now, I do feel there's this sense of a bit of a blow up coming. Now, that might be collective or it might feel, again, very personal. However, even though this may leave people reeling somewhat, I think, again, there's a focus for you to be able to maintain your peace. And I do think you are expressing yourself incredibly eloquently this month, which again is going to be very important. Now, Venus will shift into Gemini on the 10th of the month, supporting that in terms of our key relationships and also any discussions and negotiations that we have to do financially. We also have this really powerful auspicious date on the 11th. We've got the Sun conjunct Jupiter and Venus trining Pluto. Last time this happened back in April 2011, where the Sun and Jupiter were in Aries. And there's something igniting here. There's good news, there's exciting news, or there's the prospect of being able to see how something can come together. So there's a definite upside, regardless of any challenge that you might be experiencing or having gone through, even in the early part of the month. So keep that in mind around the 10th and the 11th, and it will be the right time in April to have any negotiations and discussions, especially ahead of that new moon eclipse and retrograde energy coming through. So let's talk about this new moon. Black moon solar eclipse in Aries, Act 2 really, because we had the first new moon back in March on the 21st, and this second new moon coming in at the critical 29 degrees, meaning what's unfolding is pretty fated and sealing the deal in many regards in terms of something that's meant to unfold on your path. Now, the Tower doesn't need to come in with a sense of foreboding or fear. What it's really saying is that the energy is incredibly disruptive and dynamic and changeable and combustible. And we know this, we're well versed at the moment for things having to have profound redirects or shifts or changes. Again, as I said, this sort of blow up energy that feels like it's also in and around you, perhaps a big argument or some sort of fallout happening, and you may find yourself either directly in the eye of the storm or actually just the observer and the witness. And I want to remind you, Cancer, you can read the room, but you don't have to match your energy to the room. Yeah, so if it's not feeling like something you want to participate in, absolutely you can hold space, send the healing, hold the highest possible timeline, the right kind of outlook to what it is that you are witnessing, but also understand why it needs to take place, because inevitably the Tower is always telling us the foundations are not strong enough, that what has existed now needs to crumble, it now needs to be cleared. And, the individual here is clinging on tightly to what has been. And so you may find yourself clinging on to what was, or someone else is clinging on to you, or there's a situation where that's happening. And that can feel uncomfortable, especially when you know innately in the seat of your soul, which I think you will, that it is time, that this does have to happen, that this is necessary. And it's a month, really, 10th house energy, where we're in Aries season, where you are really making your way in the world. And it's important that you reflect and consider, what do you want to be known for? Who do you want to be known as? This is really being illuminated to you this month, how you're going to bring that legacy through. And there's new people and connections entering your life. And so we have to, again, be able to create space for that to happen. So don't fight yourself. Yeah, don't fight yourself over what is unfolding. You might have some natural, understandable doubts surfacing. It may be that the way that the universe is taking things in hand is not necessarily what you'd hoped or wanted or wished for in terms of the chronological order or the way that you felt it was going to be most harmonious. But, that's life. It doesn't always work on our timeline and our agenda, and it's not that we're just here to receive, which we are, the love and the abundance and the happiness and the joy. We're also here to create change and experience contrast and go through these powerful break points so that we can birth something new and something different. Now, your Six of Pentacles says that really why this had to happen was because the balance was off. The give and take wasn't there. the reciprocal energy had to be readdressed. Six of Pentacles, Temperance, both of them trying to weigh up a situation. And there's more support that's required. Either you need to invest more in something, or you're expecting more investment from someone else into something. What I do like with this is that regardless of the turbulence that comes in with the Tower, what we do have is a situation where what's meant for you is now righting itself. I feel there's something quite karmic about this taking place. Now, we talk about help and support from the seen, but also from the unseen. And one of the big themes that plays out for me in April that my guides connected me into was seventh dimensional energies, the angelic realm, the archangel, but notably unicorn energy. I'm using 2 unicorn decks this month. Also, my sacred soul support journey is on meeting with your unicorn guide. And as we look out to the world and as it becomes increasingly chaotic and disrupted and broken and challenging to navigate, more light is being flooded than ever before, because we're so focused and intent on finding solutions, raising the vibration and healing from a collective perspective, those of us that are certainly walking a spiritual enlightened path. And so these beings are now more able to connect to us because of that than ever before. What that means is that you have to open up. You have to allow your current reality to be smashed to smithereens so that you can actually open up, crack wide open, to be able to receive the support, to understand truly the nature of the universe and what is actually going on out there and what we are actually a part of and how we actually connect on an energetic frequency level. And that's exciting, but also for many it's very challenging. And so there's a sort of conflict that's going to be going on where you want to believe, but you can, or maybe you're listening to me and just thinking, I've lost it, or maybe you're already there and already work with these energies. So regardless of where you stand, there's an invitation to connect into where your shadow or where your limiting belief or your block is holding you back. And in the shadow this month, what we're going to be focusing on in the soul journey is releasing sacred vows. So there may be something going on ancestrally from a past life, something in your family lineage that, is really stopping you from being able to harness and work with your highest potential at this time. So again, these are tools that I create to support you over and above the soul stories. You can check them out in the links below in the comment and the description box. Okay, so that new moon coming in on the 19th and bringing with it some intense and powerful changes for you. But 9 of Cups, what do we get from the outcome? Something that satisfies your soul, something that is rightly and divinely yours. And as we said, with Mars in your sign, you're going to take action if it moves your heart. And right now I see something igniting your heart space powerfully. So ultimately, the decision or the choice, whether you make it or it's taken out of your hands this month, there's a rebalancing, and what comes from that is you in a situation feeling elevated and happier and more content than perhaps you have done for some time. And this is why sometimes we have to let the universe do what it's best at, which is coming in to direct and support us on the soul journey so that we have the greatest capacity to learn, to develop and grow. And ultimately, Cancer, what are we here for? We're here to love, we're here to be of service, and we're here to activate a profound sacred remembrance. Yeah. So the sun's going to come into Taurus on the 20th, coming into your 11th house. There's the networking, the illumination of hopes and dreams, the way you're utilizing technology and how you're moving out in the world in terms of community. And so there's this desire to become more social, to initiate, to act upon many of the dreams and the ideas and inspirations that you've had going on. We do have an uncomfortable bump in the road where Mercury goes retrograde on the 21st, and then we build up to this Mars squaring Chiron on the 27th that feels a bit volatile and also really a little bit of a low blow. Like somebody goes there, and you kind of, I think, are a bit surprised. You're taken aback a little bit, and it might really hit that core wound for you somewhat, very close to the bone. However, again, we approach the 29th and we have this really beautiful, sweet surprise turnaround of events with Mars and Uranus. So things get smoothed over, and perhaps the apology or the offer or the kind of comeback is not at all what you'd expected or anticipated, but again, seems to put you back on track or things back on track. Okay, so that's what I feel is this overall theme of April playing out. Now, for some, the idea of ruin, destruction, complete sort of everything's broken down and crumbling can be very real in many different areas of your life. And yet the reminder here, of course, is that the most precious aspects of the self, of our life, can actually never be taken from us. Our experiences, our memories, our own energy, our vision, our beliefs, our faith. So, regardless of how you are perceiving what is unfolding for you, however close to home it feels, or however much you're just observing it from a distance, there is new ambition forming for you as a result of all of this. And in some ways, I think it's going to require a sacrifice from you. And only you can really come to terms with whether that sacrifice is going to be worth it, because I do think it involves a significant major life change. I think the last few weeks are definitely going to have shown you the direction to which the universe wants you to be moving towards, and the degree to which you're fighting or resisting, or you're allowing and moving in flow. And that again is Mars and Cancer. We don't have to exercise brute force. This is about knowing what's right for us, feeling into that on an intuitive level, and sensitively making the decision that this is where I'm going to invest and go. But the sacrifice can make it difficult. That's perhaps where some of the indecision is coming through and really kind of perplexing you a little bit. So, if you're new to the channel, we do cover off the final 3 cards in our extended reading. We talk for another 25 minutes to give you deeper insight into the month ahead. I'm going to go ahead and clarify this main reading now with some additional cards, and that will give us an idea of the direction and any deeper insights that are going to be emerging for us this month, Cancer. So let's just begin with Temperance. We have the energy of Justice coming in on the 11 number here as well. So again, pay attention to that 11th of the month with that auspicious date coming through. Now, all the decks that I use are also listed below. Hierophant coming in here, commitment, devotion, contracts, legalities perhaps coming through here for some of you, especially with that King of Swords. We've got 7 of Water. Lots of choices on the horizon here. 6 of Wands, beautiful. And another Tower, interesting. The World, showing up a lot for this month's soul stories. We have begun the new astrological year. So many planets have shifted and changed. There's just so much that is beginning and ending all at once. And you can't not be feeling this. 10 of Swords, definitely an ending here. Page of Fire. Emperor, beautiful. 9 of Cups. Just want to pull one more for that. Yeah, beautiful. So these endings are bringing in so many new beginnings, and the new beginnings are coming in with, it just feels like things that are so much like more aligned for you, so much more in resonance with the directions you want to move in, who you feel you're becoming, what you want to do, what you want to be known for, who you want to be seen with, like all of these things. Yeah, it's really going to make sense to you. Okay, I'm going to invite you to think about a personal question that might not have revealed itself initially in the main spread. Again, we'll cover that in our follow-up, Cancer. Okay, so we're going to use Life Soul Vision Oracle, which is my deck. You can see here, and you can find that over on my website. Links are below. You'll also see my new book, Moon Musings, is now out. Thank you so much if you pre-ordered. You can find details on my website. It's also going to be going on Amazon in April, so look out for it there. I will put the links when it goes live. There'll also be an audio and a digital version as well. So it's a curated collection of all of the musings, astrological soul musings that I've been sharing with the collective over the last few years. Okay, what do we have here? Spirit Owls, Sacred Secrets. Maybe something about the secrets coming out with all that Tower energy. Yeah, the revelationary nature of solar eclipses. They bring the truth to light. I've got the Gathering coming through here. There you go, throw energy. Needs to be said. Something needs to be said. Sometimes there's the time that we want to say things and then it just comes out, or it blurts out, or it might just leak out, or yeah. Again, look at all this kind of soulful, soothing energy though. So there is this real feeling of like calm after the storm, regardless of what you might face up against through the course of this month. You know what? It's the progress, truly, I think, that nobody can see, that most needs your acknowledgement and your celebration this month. Cancer. Yeah. Okay, so we're looking at our unicorn oracle cards. We are really connecting in with these seventh dimensional energies through the course of this month and looking to see the ways that they can support us on a heart level, on a soul level. Trust. Leap into the unknown, have faith and move forward. Believe you can fly. Beautiful. So as I said, I'm using 2 unicorn decks because they really wanted to be heard this month. So this is the Diana Cooper Oracle. Cosmic Pearl, expand your psychic gifts, open the gate to the angelic realms. What I really love, well, clearly this is exactly what we're talking about, but also the fact that the gate is open for you, the door is opening, the opportunities are coming, so you're not being met with a no or a block here. Everything is expanding and opening to allow this next chapter to unfold. That's really beautiful. If you would like to join me for the extended, please do so. You'll find the link below. Thank you so much for tuning in. I wish you a beautiful month of April, and I will see you again next time, Cancer.